Whew, I didn't check my audio, and I'm sorry about that. And that's how it goes. I'm low key. My heart is racing, and I'm unsure if it's excitement or fear. Anxiety. So yeah, I am not sure. We might turn on an episode instead, so that I can quietly drop, but we'll see what happens. I'm gonna try to talk. I'm gonna try to go through the compilation, and if I am unable to, then no Jack stream. But that's fine, because we'll just do a Jack stream later. After the Joe and Harlan streams. Yeah. So, hi, Scotty, Marimo, my love. Yay. Uh, yeah. Let's just get into it, I think. Yummy! Hi, Yummy! Okay, so the first clip that I have about Jack is from episode 57 in season 1. This is Jack after he just exploded the the Hunt Lords. Woof. Okay. It's good that I'm about to play a clip so I can let my brain catch up to my mouth. Let me know if the audio is too loud. I'm gonna mute myself, which is gonna make a loud clicking noise. Boop.
Even 20 to hit
For
for the first volley.
I'm going to throw up my shield again. So my AC becomes 21 with the warding bond. And this time I'm ready for their arrows.
Yep, all 4 of them sink into this jelloid shield that you create.
Yeah, and I mean, Jack's really channeling this, like, he's starting to feel indignant in that, like, way a wizard can be like, maybe I don't need everybody else. Maybe I can just throw myself into work. What are Red and Doran doing anyways? They left us out here, but I've got all this power. Maybe it's okay that I made a deal with this imp for extra power, because we need it to fight back against injustice like these Hunt Lords who have been terrifying just justifying to himself all of anything he can while he is just throwing all of his magic at these Hunt Lords.
And then as their arrows fail to gain purchase in your flesh.
Yeah. So, that is very early on. It is Wizard Hubris. We all know it, we all love it. I love this moment a lot, because repeatedly in season 1, Jack is the most scared person of the party, I would say. He is unprepared for danger, he is physically traumatized a lot, although that's not even true in just season 1, that's true all the time, baby. And he's a noob by all accounts. After this scene, the next fight they're in, he is paralyzed by spiders the entire fight and would have absolutely died without his companions. But this moment, though, after he's just obliterated some Hunt Lords, he gets this like rush of confidence that we don't really see very often from Jack. I mean, he's a show-off for sure, but mostly in like intellect. I think that as Jack gets to a higher level of wizard, we might see this side of him a lot more, and it's dangerous and exciting and very wizard hubris. I love that he immediately justifies the deal with the imp and tosses out the idea of abandoning his friends, and it's so good and juicy and terrible. I fucking love wizards. Wizards are, in my mind, destined for evil, isolation, or insanity. That's the path of wizards. If you're old enough to become a wizard forever, then it doesn't usually turn out well. One person with a stupid amount of power is not great. But anyway, I wanted to start off the Jack stream with this like reckless confidence clip from Jack, because I think that a lot of these preceding no, opposite of proceeding. The next clips I'm going to show you are mostly going to be him scared or sad or guilty or other things like that. So I kind of wanted to show him a little bit more on the recklessly confident side. Yeah, so we don't have a ton of time, so I'm going to move on. This is episode 60 of season 1. This is right after they got to Shadowtop Cathedral and realized they had a lot of downtime on their hand and they were gonna sit around and do things. So Jack summons Kieran after Kieran has been gone for a very long time because Jack had an imp. So, boop.
And Kieran steps out of the fire, familiar to you but strange somehow from this imbuing of a fae spirit into their form. And they just look at you, the same blue eyes as ever.
Hi, Kieran. It's good to see you.
Where were you, boss?
Was lost for a little bit. Something dark came when I called you last time, and I didn't shut the door on them fast enough. I'm sorry.
I've been lost.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you didn't want me anymore.
No, that's not it. It's been a while since that happened, and I was really afraid of this conversation because I care about what you think, and I know I did things that I'm not very proud of, and I don't want to disappoint you. But I was lost without you, and I missed you.
They walk forward on their little padded feet, feeling the material plane once again, existing in a body.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of walk around, sniffing the ground a little bit. Where are we?
Shadowtop Cathedral in the high forests.
Finally.
Yeah,
Well, you'll have to fill me in.
absolutely. Yeah, I let me tell you everything, and we do. Like I think, there's fill them in everything about Grudhog.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, a lot to talk about here. Jack didn't summon Kieran, in his own words, because he was scared of that conversation, and he avoided it for a long time for guilt and shame reasons, because he was running around with an imp. And I think that this is very reflective of Jack's characters in a lot of ways. There's a lot of clips that I could have done that fulfilled basically the same purpose, but I wanted to do it very early on, because Jack's character, he's very avoidant of feelings and hard talks. When he's upset with Red, for example, he doesn't usually bring it up with him immediately. It usually takes him a while of being like passive aggressive or even just bottling it up and choosing not to think about it before he actually says something. And usually by that point, he's already way too deep in his head and he's made a ton of assumption and it's like boiling in the back of his brain. And I think about how he confronted Red about him being an assassin, like way after Red revealed it. Like, they were in a safe space to talk about that. They were camping, everyone was together, and Jack didn't say what he was thinking in the moment. He waited until they were in a dangerous situation, way after the fact. Probably the worst time ever to talk about it, when they're trying to be sneaky in Brano, blah, 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 the well place with all the barbarians asleep. Uh, uh, or that he avoided talking about the letter with Red until way later. That's in season 2. That's recent. Uh, and even now, he knows he needs to have a hard conversation with Torin, and he is not rushing back to Waterdeep, and is even non-committal when Red talks about going to Waterdeep after their dragon mission. I mean, literally, Rob makes like a shrug sound, like, like, it's incredible. I mean, his relationship with Torin is so important to him, and he's still avoiding it. He's just right now at this moment, he is just going to have that in the back of his brain to stew and simmer and boil over until it happens, which is agonizing. I love it. And I really like this about Jack's character because I don't exactly know why he's like this, but it never works out for him. It literally causes him misery every single time. I don't know why he's like this. I imagine that it's just this like fear that he has. Like Jack doesn't have many friends or genuine connections in his life. He admits this in a later clip. Uh and I think that maybe he's terrified of losing the little bit of connections that he does have. Not enough to put up with infinite bullshit, which is why he releases his frustrations later when he feels like he has to, but enough that he's too scared to talk about it in like the exact moment. I really like that Jack has this flaw because he's been this way for 240 episodes and has barely grown. Like he is so bad at talking about things at the right moment, in the moment when it happens, and this flaw causes him so much agony. And he as far as I can tell does not acknowledge it. Um yeah, no, I just I love this about him. He doesn't enjoy confrontation. I haven't looked at chat in a while. I see some gingers in there. All right, I need to read. I'm only like one episode behind right now. Probably gonna lurk because I'm working on oh, fun. Waves. OMG, I'm caught up for once. Malpractice the podcast? Okay, you guys have been talking for a bit, so I am going to skip over some chats, even though you're all important to me, and this is not usually my way or my style. They're from the book, right? The Huntlords I don't think are from the book, my love. I need to draw a Jack Pride icon, but I have no headcanon of how he looks. Wizard hubris, trademark. Jack never gets a rest, forever traumatized. Yeah, I mean, he's ginger, totally gender. Yeah, gender? Gender and ginger. Confidence through magic is very fascinating. I love how that always feels not great with Jack's path. Yeah. Yes, he'll be ginger. Yay, yummy! Oh, that actually makes my heart full. That's amazing. Shadowtop Cathedral. Poor sad little Jack. What was Kieran's form at this point? Tressum. Cat with wings. Also, Rob is very good at voicing forlorn Jack. Sounds so good. Well, guess what? We are gonna get so much more of that. I wonder what Kieran will say this time. It's interesting, because Kieran was a lot more chatty in season 1. Kieran was like a person. And I'm really happy with Puppy Kieran. But Puppy Kieran didn't talk very much. Same Scotty. Jack and Zolf would get along. Oh, no. I don't think they would. Explain that, Yami. Lol, no wonder I like Jack and Arthur so much. Gahaha, Marimo. Yami, I think it's safer than the alternative. Jack and Hammond meeting. The room would implode from wizard hubris. He doesn't like confrontation. He's a half-elf. He's got time to take longer to grow and change. He only has 200 years, which is more than us, but you know. Compared to the other long-lived races, he doesn't have that much time. Okay. This is episode 79. This is after he has rescued Torn from the jail with the Lathander's people, the Lathander Institution, and they are sitting in Torn's room. Yep. And I'm hitting this. Boop.
There's a laundry list. I'm sure it's only gotten longer since I was gone. I'm gonna have to talk to the staff about it, but yes, of course, you can help. And I would love that.
I miss you every minute that we're away. Anytime there's a down moment, I wish I'd be spending it here. But now that I am here sitting with you, I can't stop seeing all of the ways the world is crumbling and failing around us, and the things that should be safe, like the church turning on us, and the places I should know, like Waterdeep having new buildings sprout up that I don't know. The institutions that should be protecting us aren't, and here I am with these 3 companions destined together to do something about it, and I can't stop, and that might mean it means I can't do anything but put you in danger.
He takes your hand and just holds it for a minute.
I think Jack starts to cry.
And Torin does his best to comfort you through this tide of emotions without really knowing or having anything to say, any way to comfort you. I recognize that you're going to have to leave again really soon. That you have a lot.
Okay. Ouch. He's so earnest here. Rob's acting is so good. I love the scene because despite the fact that Jack has almost died so many times, he's more concerned, it sounds like, for Torin. And I have more thoughts about the scene, but I think for time's sake we should move on. Also because I kind of cover more about Torin in a different clip. I've also talked about Jack's shifting relationship with institutions and religion a lot before, so I don't want to repeat myself too much. So, this next clip is short and sweet. It's episode 84. They are on the boat to the tower that Zulkin has told them about. Boop.
Magic items? Maybe you can make some magic arrows. The heads would be pretty small.
What kind of magic arrows? Like ones that when you shoot them, it cracks lightning through the air?
Cool. Or maybe one that makes a stake appear.
Ooh, yeah, I like that magic arrow.
Imagine that. We're getting ready for dinner, and I'm just like, steak arrow! And I shoot it, and the steak's there in the pan.
Yeah. You combine it with create food and water. I got that spell.
I'll do a butter arrow.
Doran retrieves your mace, and he kind of shakes it and knocks on it. He's like, "I wonder if I need to leave space for the magic. Does there need to be some place to put it?"
It's like a
And
hollow
he hands
bunny.
it back to you.
Jack comes and sits down at the front of the boat, sort of on the other side from Red. So we're having steaks for dinner?
Tuna steak.
Yeah.
No one said
Steak.
Oh, he tries so hard. Oh, what
In
a
the
guy.
afternoon, you enter a system of canyons, prematurely.
Yeah, I wasn't kidding. Short and sweet. Jack is barely in it. I have to be honest, I had a lot of clips to choose from that more or less continue that way. Jack has a really hard time connecting with people. I think I really relate to him in the way that he fails. This clip doesn't show it very well, but he's so passionate about nerdy things. He's so excited about archaeology and magic and intellectual stuff, and he tries very hard to connect with people, and he just isn't able to. And I mean, there are so many jokes of him trying to connect with Red and it absolutely failing because Red is weirded out by his nerdy enthusiasm, or he's just bored of a bunch of facts being hurled at him at lightning speed by Jack. I think that I feel like a lot of people, including me, were bullied as kids for liking something too much, quote unquote, you know? Like, it's a very nerdy kid phenomenon where you can't quite fit in with the regular crowd, so you have to find people that are equally as excited about your niche interest as you are. And I mean, I am easily excitable and over the top, and I have been told I'm too much many times before. So I really like that Jack has this role in the podcast of being the lore guy, like the history of the world guy, which is a great person to have in a D&D podcast. That's amazing. It gives the GM a tool. It's wonderful. It's also so charming. And he's so plain excited about it. It's like pure enthusiasm for this nerdy ass shit. And it's so charming to be. I find it so relatable. I really like that Jack's probably charisma score, but also the way that Rob acts him out is just so like, he's so earnest and he's trying so hard and he wants to connect with people. Like, he clearly enjoys connections with people. He's not like this nerdy scientist that wants to be alone forever. Like, he enjoys society, but like, he can't quite find a connection point, especially with the boys, especially the boy crew, not the Mari crew. The boy crew is full of dummies. Like, they are. And I feel like Doran connects with Jack occasionally about like rocks and like dwarven culture, and they buy art supplies together in Everland, which is so freaking sweet. And But like overall, most of the time that Jack is excited about something, the other people in his party just tune him out, and it's hilarious, but it's also so sad. I just really like that about his character. I think it's really cute. Um, it definitely gives him an underdog nature that is very charming. Uh, let's catch up with Jack though. Uh, Puppy Kieran is here for physical and moral support. That's true. Tressum Kieran was here for intellect, I think. They may not get along, but they would understand not wanting to confront their problems. Yeah. They would bond over running away from their problems, for sure. Zulf and Jack, 100%. I like Kraloth, Zulf, and Grizzop to be in the same room together. I just want to watch them. You want to watch the world burn. That is such a terrible crew. Extreme devotion, extreme undevotion, disloyalty. I don't know. That's amazing. I love it. I've fucked up devotion issues. Fucked up devotion relationships in a room. 3 of them. Audio's great. Oh, season 1 music. Oh, season 1 music. Yeah, that'd be an interesting conversation. Mari given her issues lately with God. Mari also, yeah, let's throw her in there. Let's really a nuclear bomb of people. Man, I forget how good and emotional the early apps were. Yeah. Fucking Zulkin. We need Zulkin back. Fucking Zulkin. It doesn't even matter. I tried so hard and got so far. Poor awkward Jack. I love him. Yeah. Francie. Oh, Francie. I know of Francie. Is LB on DS on CTL. Ah, Francie is live blogging Dice Shame on Crossing the Line. And just got to where Kraloth got the shield and was like, perfect gift for him. And me and Tilly are like, yeah. Oh, yummy. Pain. Same stuff. Goodness, yeah. Still have that problem as an adult. I do too. Making adult friends is hard, man. I feel you. That's why online spaces are so amazing, because you can seek people that are as excited about your things as you are. Uh, which, you know, there's pros and cons to that. But unfortunately, Jack Page does not have access to the internet. But maybe thankfully, because Rob once said that he would be a YouTuber. And I've never forgiven him for that. Why would you make Jack a YouTuber? He already has a real world job of archaeologist. You don't have to give him a shitty job. You can just make him an archaeologist. I realize that I'm saying that on a YouTube live stream. I'm multi-layered. Yeah. Okay, but he did pee with them off the bridge. That is true, he did. Cons, the distance. Yeah, that's a big con. Alright, let's move on to the next clip. This is 2 clips, actually. This is 118 after Kraloth just died, and this is episode 150 when Kraloth's about to leave die. They're together. You'll see why. Maybe you won't. Maybe I'll explain it. Whatever. The point is, prepare for heartbreak. Oh, and boop.
What? Do I notice that?
You would recognize that Kraloth's condition fails to improve.
What? Come on. And I cast it again.
You fail. You fail to cure Kraloth.
I think Red looks up to Jack with like water in his eyes. He's like, it's not working. He almost steps back.
Tell me what you were trying to do.
I was trying to heal him. It's look at him. It's not working.
Can I roll some Arcana to sort that out?
Yeah, definitely roll Arcana.
Got a 21 Arcana.
The weave of the magic that Red cast was patent. There was no flaw with his spell casting, but something is wrong with Kraloth.
Jack, come on. What is it?
I think Jack takes 2 or 3 big steps back and tries to like grab Red and Doran and pull them away from Kraloth for a minute, just to be like step away, like, oh shit, that's a beehive or something, like pull them back from a danger.
Yeah, and Red comes. What?
There are certain creatures for which that kind of healing magic you were doing doesn't work?
Bullshit! Red pulls his arm away from Jack and runs over to Kraloth's side and grabs a healing potion out of his bag and pours it down Kraloth's gullet. Red sort of just drops his eyes to the floor. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
This has been a month of borrowed time.
No, we're not out of options yet, Kraloth. We could take you to Waterdeep. You know, there must be something that my sister or my dad could help us do to stop this curse, or there's so much more we could do. What are you talking about?
Jack.
We don't have to stop. You don't have to give up.
Jack, this is a decision that's already been made by more than just me. Doesn't have to be a bad thing, doesn't have to be sad, but it's not just the only way. It's my way.
Red nods as you talk, just sort of absent-mindedly, nodding along. And he looks towards Jack and sort of nods at Jack. He's right, Jack.
Jack's just sort of stunned, quiet, shaking his head, his eyes welling up with tears, his mind racing a million miles a minute to try and solve this problem and find another solution.
Kraloth turns to Jack, and he takes a couple steps and kneels down before him, puts a hand on his knee, and says, "My partner investigator, Team Corps inspectors. Jack, I'm incredibly grateful for what you and Doran did yesterday. I truly am. And you know just as well as I do that death isn't the last stop in our world. This is Faerun." And he gestures around. "You know the map better than I do. You understand there are planes of existence that, while I may be saying goodbye to you, there is another story for me and another plane. That's where we're all going. I'll keep the fire warm for you.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you for everything."
Like it. I think it's beautiful.
Oops, started the next clip by accident. Ouch. Ow. Yeah, so in the first clip, okay, first of all, heartbreaking, touching, absolutely devastating. Rob's acting is incredible, as always. And it's hurtful. It's really hurtful. The first thing I love is the shift between these two scenes. I love how Jack is scared of undead Kraloth, like, calls him a danger, even pulls the other boys away from him, and then in the next clip switches immediately to begging him to reconsider to stay so that he can fix his curse, can reach out to his sister and his dad, and like is trying to think of options, and it just hurts. It really hurts. I think that Jack really cares about Kraloth and everyone in his life and is terrified of like letting go. I think that this conversation with Torrin is not gonna go well either. Jack to me seems like the kind of guy that gets broken up with more so than he breaks up with people. I think he mentioned that he's still talking in the later clip. He's still talking to Dazan, his evil wizard friends, and that says a lot about Jack. I think I think that I don't think he's the best at showing his like love for people, but like he really holds on very, very tightly. I'd love to find out more about like why he's like this. Like if it's his parents' weird relationship that maybe influenced him to never abandon people or what. But like, ouch. Yeah. Okay. Next clip is from season 2, episode 13. Jack just bought a board game after their horrors in the sewer.
Jack, I think what a great idea.
I just thought it would be fun. Yeah, trying to think about how when we take off this time, how it might be a little bit, I don't know, different. It might feel different.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, it's our first big foray, and I'm, even in some of the places where you think you might be the safest. Hell, coming home to visit somebody, you could be dead and alone one night, and surrounded by friends who don't really like the stuff you like the next night. So I figured we could maybe find something we all could get into.
Yeah, I guess you had kind of a brush back there in the sewers, eh? We never really talked about it.
Wait, that's right. I guess you guys went and had a great bath and left me.
Aw, Jack.
I guess you guys had a real great bath and left me. Oh, ouch. Yeah, that sucks. I don't really feel like this moment was resolved super well either. I faded it out, but Red apologizes for the party's actions. Just Red, by the way, nobody else. Saying that he didn't want to draw too much attention to Jack's fatal condition in case Mari got too scared and they needed Mari, which is fine. Okay, sure, I get that. There's a very interesting switch from season 1 to season 2, where Jack is no longer the most afraid and fearful, and Mari is. And Red is very eager to compensate for Red's fear, which is awesome, or like call it out sometimes. And I love that. It's led to some really cool and interesting conversations and character moments for sure since. But while I think that Jack is more confident in battles these days, he's still not like Red and Doran levels of confidence. Like, he's not a soldier or a hunter by any means. He still values his own life, I would say, and he still values I think Jack and Mari would be the most unprepared for a death in the party by all accounts. I think that like Red prioritizing Mari's fear over Jack makes sense because they desperately needed a healer, and they really did need Mari. But poor Jack. Poor Jack. Like, it's terrifying to be, might die. Like, confirmed by the GM, if this isn't resolved, I will die. And your friends more or less don't address it. I will say, though, in the sewers, Jack was not very forthcoming with the information that he had about his own condition, because he... What is his hand doing? Oh, that. Okay. He was not the most forthcoming with the information about his condition because he wanted to get the job done very quickly, wanted to get out of there, and he only really kind of hinted at the fact that he was going to die, which, again, Jack really avoids hard talks, I guess, even when it concerns his own life. But he did reveal it, and his friends did very much barely acknowledge it, which is very, very sad and very funny, and it can be all of the above, really. I don't know if I can draw this right now. Let's try something else. Oh, let me look at chat. Whew. I don't know if you guys caught me talking about... Never mind. I think that was before the audio started. Don't let Jack be a YouTuber. Thank you, Marimo. You're with me, my comrade. Rock YouTuber. That's a geologist. Sad, 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 Red. Crying. Like in the animatic. Pain, pain and misery. Team corpse inspectors, let me die. Yeah. Early day hurt. Yeah. tell. I really need to go back and do a re-listen because yeah, there are big differences between season 1 and season 2 listening to these clips now. I know, right? It's such a long road. Yes, yes, very big differences. Season 2 had quite a tone shift in my mind. They are much more silly. And while there's still very heartfelt moments, I would say that season 1 was devastating. There was so many things that happened in season 1 that was absolutely horrific. Um uh from Grudhog on, basically. Even before Grudhog. But like season 2, they're kind of trucking along okay. They're doing pretty good, I would say. I mean, Jack's magic is acting up. Not great. Uh Alistair almost died. Dragon cultists, split party. The stakes are pretty great right now, but I would say that probably due to the tone shift and the increase in levels that they've had since season 1, season 2 they are a lot more confident and are able to handle their problems much better. Although I did really like Doran crying over his mom, or not really crying over his, yeah, Doran crying over his mom. That was really, really sweet. Uh, I'm sorry, guys. My heart is racing. My anxiety is kind of going nuts right now. I think I'm just gonna take. We have 15 minutes left. I have one more clip. It's kind of a long one. Maybe that's fine, actually. I'll play the clip. I wish I was feeling better for the Jack stream because I really do love Jack very, very much, but uh, this is all I can summon today. I'm so sorry.
Red like watches Mari and Turtle Dorn and Alistair head off to bed. Good night, good night. And then he turns towards Jack. And Red walks over. You look so menacing sitting here in the dark with an empty bottle.
Jack just slides a piece of paper over to you, and it looks like a letter in Jack's handwriting, maybe a little sloppy because he's had a bit to drink. And then you see Jack like close his eyes and turn away, and the letters on the page all start to move around and mix, and suddenly you've got Torrin's neat handwriting, and where there were spaces or gaps in that letter before, there's big red angry scratches on the page, so that the letter now reads, "Dear Robin, thank you so much for listening to me share my true feelings about Jack. I so appreciate your candor. It's a relief to know that someone else feels the same way about that useless man. I mean, I feel like I've wasted so much of my life with him. I don't understand how it happened. I'm not even sure I ever liked him. He's hard to relate to. He never had friends, and when he was introduced me to someone, usually it's the same sort of people for which a good conversation involves something boring like dirt or books. The closest he's ever come to a friend was a horrible mage, Dazan. Can you believe he's still corresponding with him on a regular basis? It's stuff like that that really proves that old saying right. An illusionist breathes lies like air. Hearing you share that sentiment in the truest sense of the word has really helped me clarify something I've been struggling with. And I suppose this is all just echo what you were telling me. Adventuring's dangerous, so if our friend doesn't make it back to Waterdeep, I wouldn't miss him, and neither would you. Especially now that I've got his dad's name and finances supporting the Copper Cup, I don't really need Jack around anymore. He'd just complicate things. I've considered hiring a contractor to take care of him for me, and I wouldn't want to impose on you because I know your relationship with the Dark Tide has changed recently, but when it comes to this sort of thing, I don't really know what to do. I'm torn up. I feel like he's put a spell on me and forced me to love him. He's messed with my heart, and now I'm finally seeing clearly. Is there sufficient punishment for someone who tricks you into loving them? I don't even know. I hope it's okay to write this. I'm sure he'll find this letter. Not that it'll matter for long. I'm sorry you have to put up with him. I just want out of this awkward position with Jack.
Yeah! So lot of insecurities and anxieties, very neatly written out for us. I love that he, in his anxious thoughts, thinks that Torin might be a gold digger, which is a horrible assumption to make about somebody. Um, which is, it kind of shows that, insecurities are unkind to the people that you project them on as well. Um, and, yeah, oh, there's a lot to cover there. I mean, this is from Jack's brain, basically, right? So Jack is acknowledging that he doesn't have that much friends. He has a hard time connecting with people. He acknowledges that he talks about, nerdy shit to the point of boring others. Oh, the poor guy, the poor guy. I mean, the idea that Torin would want him dead, and Red would do that for Torin, and would be willing to do that, and would not miss Jack at all. Ah, it's so sad. Like Jack's self-worth very much fluctuates in this podcast a lot. This is a very baby-faced Red, and also a weird-faced Red Jack. Oof. It's a weird-faced Rob right here. Okay, I did that one on purpose. Um, what was I saying? I don't know. My heart is racing right now. I don't know what's wrong with me. I had a very weird day where I was like, everyone finds me annoying, and that's the God truth. That's the God awful godsend. What am I trying to say? Yeah, no, bad thoughts. Um, I don't think this breakup is gonna go very well for Jack. Poor guy. I really enjoy that he has connections in this world. I really like that. Especially for a wizard, who are typically very isolationist and independent. For my gay little heart, I really liked that Jack was gay from the start. He didn't have like a, not that coming out stories are bad or anything. It just like, yeah, I'm a grown man. I have a boyfriend. I'm gay. We don't even need to talk about that. That's not even the point of my story. I really liked that about Jack. But that's a side note. I really liked that uh he started out with connections, especially in comparison to Kraloth, Red, and Doran, who Doran was exiled from his community, and um Kraloth all of his friends were dead, and he didn't even remember half of them at the beginning of the story, and Red is independent to a fault almost, and uh well, at the beginning of the story anyway. And I really liked that Jack started out with connections. I really liked that he had something to lose. I really liked that he wasn't just an adventurer. He he likes to adventure, certainly. He was doing archaeology before we even met him, and he was being out in the world and independent, but he clearly values his connections enough to keep them. Like Mari has a similar story to Jack in that she has a partner that she's left behind, and while she feels some regret or maybe loss about leaving them, uh, she doesn't feel any. I think she feels less of an urge to keep those relationships when she would rather wander. Whereas Jack would like to have his cake and eat it too. He'd like to wander, do archaeology, adventure, all of that fun shit, and also have a committed relationship. Yeah, the poor guy. The poor guy, I don't think he really. I think he needs some sort of connection that meets him where he's at, which sucks because I love Torin, and I did, of the several prompts that I got, I did have a a large bias towards all the ones with Torin in them. And I should really draw those and post those first because I'm pretty sure it's going to get tragic here in a couple of episodes. I don't know how many episodes, but certainly some coming up. Uh I think I need to stop talking for a second. Okay. Let's read chat for a second. Wow, you guys have been talking, which is a good thing. Yeah, I think I'm noticing that too, says Marimo. I love the silly, but I gotta say I am partial to the heaviness. Me too, looks at RQG. Huge, big, same, Marimo. I mean, there are podcasts where they go too far with it. Rogue Runners, for example. Rogue Runners is an excellent podcast. They do great dungeon design. And it's a podcast, so you're like, dungeon design, what does that matter? No, it's like really good dungeon design. And the characters don't like each other. And that is very, very interesting in season 1. And it is so beaten to a pulp in season 2. I don't like season 2. I think that season 1 of Dice Shame does a very good mix of drama and goofiness. And I think that season 2 has a very lighthearted tone, which I'm all about. But it's definitely not the same tone as season 1. Yeah, there have been great parts to season 2 for sure. Hugs, anxiety. Anxiety is challenging. It is, but usually my anxiety is not very physical. Like it's like all mental and like that causes me to do things that are irrational, but it's not usually like my heart and my lungs and I'm sweating. Like it's not usually doing that. So I'm wondering if I'm getting sick or something. To be fair, Joe's a kinder GM and allows players to dick around for longer than Alex would. Yes, that's true. Neutral statement. I agree. I think that Joe is so tuned into players in a way that is really, really powerful. I'm not even that patient with players. Joe is so willing to pick up what players are putting down and play with it and like use player interactions to her will. I would compare her to Abria Iyengar, also. Very, very good GMing. Yes, what Marimo said. We all just go to bed early. Joe is much kinder than Alex in that regard. Oh, this part was awful. Oh man, this part killed me. Oh, this part. I have so been here. The bad thought train. Choo choo, motherfuckers. Hard to relate. He never had friends. Ah! Hell, hell, hell. I'm looking forward to more of this good hurdy angst. Yeah, I am so terrified for the touring conversation because I think objectively for the story it makes sense for them to break up, but I really, really don't want them to. I'm looking forward. Well, he looks fine to me. Well, I started over. Sorry. We can empathize with Jack's anxiety. We can empathize with yours. Yeah. I'm fine. I just one of those days. It's not a convo. It's just here's my boyfriend Torin. Yeah, I loved it. I really did. Jack's had a whole lifetime of he dated a tax collector. Sorry. Scotty says Jack had a whole lifetime of relationships before Dice Shame started, and it shows. Jack needs a low-maintenance relationship, an anchor of sorts who isn't bothered by his wondrous, adventurous ways. And yet he still struggles with relationships. Still growing is cool. Oh no, Jack looks at- Hi, Rob! Welcome! Did you have fun recording? I assume. I don't know. We didn't get that much Jack drawing done. Howdy, Rob. It's very funny that you say that because this is a meme. Oh yeah, sometimes you can get too edgy. But there needs to be a nice balance. RKG could have used more laid back stuff and mellowed down time sometimes. I agree. I really thought that the characters would sometimes reach a point in RQG where they had really awesome conversations that they could have had if they just had a moment to breathe. And while RQG was kind of go, go, go in a way that was really tense and satisfying, again, I haven't listened to RQG in a while. I did occasionally, while I was listening to it, go, oh my god, take a break! Stop and talk about it! And Dice Shame is excellent for that because man, do they stop and talk about it. And that sounds like an insult, but that is not an insult. Dice Shame, they sit and talk about things all of the time. They make space for really weird, hard, interesting, delicate conversations every single second. Like from season 1, episode 1, they were already talking about things. I really enjoy that Dice Shame loves the dynamic of the player characters and uses it and like sits with it and like says, "All right, you four make interesting conversations with each other. Go." Like it's very very good. Uh totally ready for more heaviness. Uh James D'Amato. What is that? I want the sadness, I want the drama. Oh, I wanted more of that. I do like that Alex acknowledged that he wished he worked in more points for characters to sit and talk, but at that point he recognized it was kind of too late, so he just kept the pace. And then we got the airship arc. Ayo! Airship arc. Yeah, we've gotten through all my clips. Uh, Rob has come at the very, very end. That's very funny. Uh, yeah, I wish I had more enthusiasm. Although I didn't want to be too excited, but that's how it goes sometimes. Um, yeah, I mean, we have 3 minutes left, gang. I mean, if Rob is still here, we can't hold an interview per se, but oh, okay, this should be a light, easy question. You said that there are things in Jack's backstory that got left behind or like didn't fit with the story. I'm fascinated to hear what is, if you're comfortable sharing, if that's something that you can share. But like, what on earth about Jack's backstory got left behind? I am so fascinated. I mean, you said that a long time ago, so I don't know if it's like if I'm misremembering it, but I'm curious. Oh, he looks so sad. I think it's his droopy lid. Hmm. Oops. Sorry, Jack. His poor eyeball. Okay. Oh, that face looks weird. I will have to edit that later. Anyway. Uh, offering Rob up for an interview. Hey, Rob is fully capable of disappearing if he wanted to. he is incredibly capable of lurking. If I asked him a question he didn't want to answer, I am certain that man would disappear. Uh, hands you the mic. Since you're here, Rob. There was nothing that was left behind that is relevant. All the edges that got rounded out have to do with discovering what Joe's version of the realms are and reinterpreting the character. We love a pathetic little guy through that lens. Interesting, interesting. Well, but like what specifically, Rob? It's 7:30. What do you mean? Okay. All right, well, that's the end. Great stream, everybody. Yep. Say with me. Boop and boop.